So we're walking around the perimeter wall of the graveyard here. This wall was probably thrown up at a much later date than the church's foundation. It's quite likely when the Normans arrived here, there might have been an earlier church as well. Early Christian churches in Ireland tended to be affiliated with Irish royal sites. It would hold a lot of 12th and 13th century fabric, but it was in 1621 the church had become ruinous, and by the 1760s it was re-roofed again and used as a Church of Ireland church. But by 1839, the night of the big wind had taken the roof off, and that was the last time it was really intact with the roof in the 1830s. The Savages, they would have buried their dead here. There's one Anglo-Norman coffin lid here that would be of 13th century date. These coffin lids turn up all around the loch, so they're obviously transporting them around the place as well. It just emphasises the role of the loch in the people's lives. So here we are going through the gate into the churchyard now. This graveyard hasn't been used in a long number of years now, but you can see some of these beautiful old 18th and 19th century gravestones with the decoration on. But there's a lot of earlier stones as well that have no carvings on them at all. There's probably poor people. The name Savage in the Ards is still a very common name. You would find it around here, you would find it in Portaferry. Savages eventually moved into Portaferry, built the Tower House there. There's a saying around here, I'd rather be an old savage than a new gent, because the Savages split into two sects. One of them had moved to Portaferry and erected the Tower House there, and eventually the family in Portaferry changed their name to Nugent, and that was in order to keep the land due to laws that were brought in at penal times.